The pool nobody knew was still there. John chapter 9 describes one of the most vivid healing narratives in the entire gospel tradition. Jesus encounters a man blind from birth, makes mud from dirt and saliva, places it on the man's eyes, and tells him to go wash in the Pool of Siloam. The man goes, washes, and comes back seeing. The Pool of Siloam had been known from the biblical text and from the writings of the first-century historian Josephus as a specific, historically real water installation in ancient Jerusalem, connected to the Siloam Tunnel, an extraordinary feat of ancient engineering carved through solid rock during the reign of King Hezekiah in the 8th century BC to bring water from the Gihon spring into the city during a threatened Assyrian siege. For much of the modern era, a small Byzantine-period pool in the City of David area was generally identified as the Pool of Siloam, but scholars who examined the site noted that its relatively small size did not match the descriptions in Josephus or the scale implied by the gospel accounts of public gatherings there. In the summer of 2004, workers repairing a sewer line in the City of David area south of the Temple Mount broke into a large stone-paved structure. Archaeologists were called. What emerged, after careful excavation, was a large, well-preserved stone pool with broad stone steps descending into the water from three sides, dated by pottery and coins found in the construction fill to the late Second Temple period, specifically to approximately the 1st century BC through the 1st century AD. It was the Pool of Siloam, the actual one, the one Jesus sent the blind man to wash in, according to the Gospel of John. If this kind of investigation is what you have been searching for, the archive runs considerably deeper. There is much more here for those willing to follow it. What the discovery actually established. The 2004 excavation, conducted by Israeli archaeologists Ronny Reich of the University of Haifa and Eli Shukron of the Israel Antiquities Authority, produced a documented, well-dated, well-preserved archaeological find of considerable significance for understanding the ancient Jerusalem that Jesus and his contemporaries inhabited. The pool itself is large by any measure. Its total dimensions, still only partially excavated at the time of the initial publication, extended considerably beyond the Byzantine-period pool that had previously been considered the Siloam pool. The broad stone steps descending into the water from three sides were interpreted by Reich and Shukron as functioning miqveh-style ritual immersion steps, consistent with the pool's use as a place of public ritual washing, as well as a water source consistent with the Gospel of John's narrative of the blind man washing there. The dating evidence, pottery and coins found sealed in the pool's construction fill, placed its construction in the late Hasmonean or early Herodian period, approximately the 1st century BC, and its use extending into the early 1st century AD, meaning the pool existed and was in active use during the period of Jesus' ministry described in the Gospel of John, making it the specific pool the Gospel narrative describes rather than a later Byzantine reconstruction. Naaman Avigad and subsequently Benjamin Mazar had previously documented the broader ancient Jerusalem water system, including the Siloam Tunnel, and their published work, held in university collections internationally, provided the archaeological context within which the 2004 discovery could be precisely situated and understood. But this is not the strangest part of what the discovery preserves. What do you think it means that a specific, named location in the Gospel of John, described as the site of one of the most dramatic healing narratives in the entire New Testament, sat buried and undiscovered beneath a Jerusalem parking lot until a broken sewer pipe in 2004 accidentally revealed it to the world? Leave that in the comments. This community was built for exactly that conversation. The Siloam Tunnel and what it tells you about Jerusalem. The Pool of Siloam's discovery in 2004 cannot be fully understood without understanding its connection to the Siloam Tunnel, one of the most remarkable feats of ancient engineering in the entire biblical period. The Siloam Tunnel, also called Hezekiah's Tunnel, is a 533-meter-long tunnel carved through solid rock beneath Jerusalem during the reign of King Hezekiah in the late 8th century BC, connecting the Gihon spring on the eastern slope of the City of David to the Pool of Siloam within the city walls. The tunnel's construction is referenced in 2 Chronicles chapter 32 and 2 Kings chapter 20, and the Siloam inscription, discovered inside the tunnel in 1880, and now held at the Istanbul Archaeological Museums, is one of the oldest surviving Hebrew inscriptions, describing in first-person terms the meeting of two tunneling teams working from opposite ends, commemorating the moment the two groups, working by sound and sight through the rock, broke through to each other. Amichai Mazar of the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, whose extensive published scholarly work on the archaeology of the land of Israel across the biblical period is among the most authoritative treatments of this material and is held in university collections internationally, has documented the Siloam tunnel system and its broader context in the water systems of ancient Jerusalem in his scholarship. The connection between Hezekiah's 8th century BC engineering achievement and the 1st century AD gospel narrative in John chapter 9 illustrates something significant about the physical continuity of Jerusalem as an inhabited city. The same water system that Hezekiah created to protect Jerusalem during the Assyrian threat continued to supply water to the city for centuries, with its terminal pool remaining in active use during precisely the period the Gospels describe. If this investigation is surfacing things that your standard education never reached, it means the work is doing what it was built to do. That clarity is what keeps this archive alive, what remained unexcavated and why. The 2004 excavation exposed a significant portion of the Pool of Siloam, but the full pool extends beneath a garden that belongs to the Greek Orthodox Church of Jerusalem, whose ownership of the property above the unexcavated portion of the pool has made continued excavation dependent on negotiations between Israeli archaeological authorities and the Church, a process that has proceeded slowly. This situation, a significant and historically important archaeological site, partially excavated and partially inaccessible due to property ownership considerations, is not unusual in the Jerusalem archaeological landscape, where numerous significant sites remain partially or entirely unexcavated due to a combination of religious, political, and property considerations documented in the broader literature on Jerusalem archaeology. The portion of the pool that has been excavated is currently accessible to visitors and has been incorporated into the broader City of David Archaeological Park, where visitors can walk down the ancient stone steps and understand the pool's physical context within ancient Jerusalem's topography. What the pool's discovery means for reading the Gospel of John. The discovery of the Pool of Siloam does not resolve the theological questions about the Gospel of John's healing narrative. It does not confirm that the specific healing described in chapter 9 occurred. It does not address the broader historical critical questions about the Gospel of John's relationship to history that scholars have debated for 2 centuries. What it does establish, with the precision that dated archaeological evidence provides, is that the specific named location in the Gospel of John's narrative was a real, large, well-documented, publicly used water installation in 1st century Jerusalem, consistent in its physical character and its dating with the Gospel narrative's use of it as a setting. This kind of archaeological confirmation of a specific named location in the Gospel narratives is itself significant, not because it settles theological questions the archaeological evidence cannot address, but because it places the Gospel narrative's physical settings within a documented historical and archaeological context, rather than leaving them as purely literary details of uncertain historical grounding. The Pool of Siloam sat beneath a Jerusalem parking lot for the better part of 2,000 years, while the Gospel of John continued to be read in churches and homes across the world, describing the blind man who went and washed there and came back seeing. The pool itself was always there. It just took a broken sewer pipe in 2004 to prove it. If this investigation has opened something you want to carry further, share it below. If this kind of work deserves to continue, you know what to do. And the question worth debating in the comments. The Pool of Siloam, described in John chapter 9 as the site of the blind man's healing, was found in 2004, exactly where the Gospel places it, dated precisely to the period of Jesus' ministry, buried beneath a parking lot where it had remained unknown for most of the modern era. Does the discovery of the physical setting of a gospel miracle narrative change how you evaluate the historical grounding of the Gospel of John? And what do you think other named locations in the gospel narratives might still be waiting to be found? This content was developed using artificial intelligence tools as part of the research, writing, and production process. All AI-generated material was subject to human review, editorial intervention, and approval before publication. Factual claims, interpretive framing, creative direction, and final content decisions reflect human judgment throughout. This disclosure is provided in accordance with platform transparency standards for AI-assisted content.